if she was, hello there. If she wasn't a young girl, I wouldn't be arguing
We
over,
just
you
keep
know.
having like an interview, kind of an audition.
Get away
We
with
just
young women
kind of
now.
thought he was a very interesting character. Went to one of his open mic poetry stuff, and then we just decided to run with it. And the more we kind of explore it and get some pretty amazing stuff, and I deeper into it, I'm like, that can't be for real. And then it is for real. And it just keeps on getting better and bigger and weirder. And I have some pretty interesting questions for you.
Good. Lay them on me. Damn, you guys are making it good.
Right, go.
My name is Kristen Copham, and I'm founder and director of NY Studio Gallery. I made my first painting in 1982, an eagle.
Very American.
It was stupid. It's been destroyed, thank God. Well, that's a long story. Do you really want to get into it? Elfie Snow is, well, she's sort of a figment of my imagination, I suppose, kind of an alter ego. She's like the musician side of the artist. It just confuses people if I say I'm a visual artist and a musician. That's kind of unacceptable. You have to take your pick. And since I do both, I just decided to make separate identities for them so that when I'm a visual artist, I'm 100% visual artist. When I'm a musician, I'm 100% musician. There's no crossover. It's a form of schizophrenia that multimedia artists must suffer. I haven't legally changed my name, though.
That's it.
I do prefer Elfie, though, in a lot of ways because it's more interesting. I started writing music in the early 90s, and I formed a band about 40 years ago. It's called Elfie Snow. This guy just called me up out of the blue and said, "Would you mind if a nudist visited your gallery?" And I said, "No, not at all. Come on in." And I actually knew it was him when he passed because I knew he was going to be there the next day, and I saw this sort of shady character walk by and look furtively into the space like, is that okay to go in there? And I'm like, oh, there's the dude who just called the nudist guy. Okay, here we go. Weirdo Central. He comes in and introduces himself, and I'm like, hey, make yourself at home. And he wanted to change here, so why don't you change in the bathroom? He said, well, it might be a problem if I go step in the hall. And then I started kind of egging him a little bit. I'm like, look, if you're a nudist, why don't you just walk in here nude? I didn't think you'd come in with your clothes on and then take them off. I thought you'd just show up nude. Like, now I gotta provide a dressing room? Like, isn't that kind of your problem? I'm trying to create a bit of an alternative space here, and it's okay if people's paradigms are challenged. I mean, I did a whole series of male nudes who aren't models. They're just regular guys, they're artists. And I think it would actually be interesting, and I've painted people in my gallery, albeit, I make sure that there's a curtain and that people are forewarned if the model has an issue that, it's a private situation. But, I've painted nude paintings. I've painted myself in the nude, I've painted other people in the nude, so I have no issue with nudity, and I think it's okay to challenge people's comfort level. I think to some degree art and galleries should challenge people's comfort level. Yeah, I mean, I'm vain, and I know I'm gonna be like an old bag pretty soon, so I gotta get it down, in oils and memorialize the beautiful body I have today, because someday it will be gone. I'll just be dust and bones, and it'll be all over, baby. Well, presumably it'll outlive me. Oil on canvas is pretty archival, so a lot more archival than flesh and blood and bone. Tommy professes to be a poet, which I presume is an art form, and he's most certainly an exhibitionist as well. I don't know that I necessarily draw a distinction. Typically and traditionally have issue between high art, low art distinctions. I like to welcome low art into the realm of high art, and I like to push high art into the realm of low art sometimes. I think that's okay to do, and I think we're at that point in our progression as human beings where we're pushing the envelope all over the place, so why not do it with something as simple as nudity and art? I appreciate Tommy, even though he can be annoying and kind of be hanging out too much and I'm trying to get work done and stuff. It's okay because at least he's got the guts to, do what he feels like doing. If he went into a restaurant or went into the subway in the nude, he'd get arrested. And if you were, sometimes, like I said, I like to egg Tommy on because I think, gosh, if you're a real nudist, why don't you show up here in the nude? I gave him a hard time for wearing socks and shoes, but I guess nudists wear socks and shoes. I was not aware of this.
Not all.
Factoid. He said it was unsanitary to to expose his feet, which I retorted, don't you think it's a little unsanitary that you're dripping on my floor? And he said, whoa, give me my discharge papers. And so I handed him a napkin.